Hi friend, I just wanted to take a minute to invite you to our Lash Biz Babes Experience 2026. This is a one-day all-online event happening on May 2nd, and our theme for the year is going all in. We are shaking things up and doing it differently than anyone ever has before. This is going to be an all-online event as usual, but it's going to be 100% a curated journey throughout your day as we guide you through the mindset, strategy, and passion needed to go all in on your business to make it your best year in business yet. All lash artists, estheticians, and beauty professionals are invited to join us. There will be guided sessions, interactive workshops, a panel discussion, and big giveaways happening throughout that whole day. And tickets are on sale now for only $199. Payment plans are available. Let's go all in on our businesses for 2026 together. All the details and the link for tickets are down in the show notes below. I would love to have you join us online in May. Welcome to Lash Biz Babes, the podcast for solo beauty business owners who want to build a full clientele and create a business and life that they truly love. My name is Erica. I'm your host. I'm a lash artist turned beauty business coach, lash educator, and social media manager for salons and beauty businesses. I'm so happy that you're here. Let's go ahead and jump into today's episode. Welcome to this week's episode of Lash Biz Babes. My name is Erica. I'm your host, and this is officially our very last episode of 2025. So we are going to do an end of year wrap-up episode. You guys always love these every year, and I feel like it's just a good way to recap what we talked about in the year and just kind of winding down your year so you can kind of audit things and go into the new year feeling fresh, feeling ready, feeling on top of it, and, ready to chase some goals and dreams for the new year. That all being said, I cannot start this episode without just saying such a huge thank you for listening to the show this year, for being a part of our Lash Biz Babes community. If you've listened to 30 seconds or a minute or an hour or any amount of episodes of the show, I just hope you know how much I truly, truly appreciate you. And thank you so very much for listening, for supporting, and for being a part of this. So just had to share my thanks and my gratitude for another such a great year for the show. It's definitely been a journey with doing the podcast. And I just transparently, there's been times where I'm just like, oh my gosh, is this even worth it to keep doing? If you don't know a lot of like the back end of podcasting, it is a very big time investment. And, with having a podcast manager and such, who's absolutely amazing, could not do this without her. Big shout out to Abby. She's my podcast manager, but that's also like a big investment financially as well to keep it going. And there's just been times where just like things just felt so hard and so much. Just like, should this even be something that I keep doing? But, I just feel like this is the most fun part of my business, just getting to sit down and talk with you and getting to share what I've learned. Podcasts were a place where I really turned to as a lash artist to help me grow my business. And so I just feel like it's full circle to be able to turn around and do that and help others with it now too. I get so many messages from you guys and comments of just like, oh my gosh, I love your podcast. This has helped me so much. And I got these new clients booking from, doing the things that you shared on this episode, and just like all these super sweet messages of support and love, and just you guys absolutely loving the show. So it's just like, okay, I'm just going to buckle down and, keep moving forward. I feel like we kind of maybe all hit points in our business like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one, but, just kind of like reevaluating what's working for you and what's not. It was kind of an up and down year with that, with just kind of, what am I doing with my life kind of moments. That's just what makes me even more thankful for you guys and like listening and just sharing how much it helps you. And that's why I keep showing up. That's why I keep doing this. And we're going into our 4th year of the show in February. Will be 4 years. That's so crazy. We started in 2022. Was it 2022? Yeah, I think it was 2022. So that's crazy. We've been doing this for almost 4 years. We're one of the only lash podcasts that is active and consistent, and I just hope you know that is because of you, that I keep showing up and I keep doing it and putting in the time and the money and the effort, because I think you deserve it, and I am just really grateful for you. So thank you so much. That all being said, let's jump into today's episode. So Yearly wrap up, I like to kind of sit down and decide what worked. Look at things objectively, okay? Because you're going to have a lot of feelings and it's going to make you feel like, am I a bad lash artist? Am I a bad business owner? I didn't do this right. And you're going to want to feel hard on yourself. But I want you to look at things objectively. Just take off your little personal hat, put on your little business owner hat, and think about it from an analytical standpoint of just like what went well this year, what didn't go well this year. And sometimes that might mean making hard decisions and changes that maybe are uncomfortable, or you don't really want to do that, but it's going to be for the best of your business or for your life, or your family, things like that. So just keep that in mind. Look at things objectively from the year. What worked well, what didn't work well. We can kind of do like a SWOT analysis with like strengths, weaknesses. What does the O stand for? I'm gonna have to Google it. I can't think of it. But if you do SWOT analysis on Google, it kind of walks you through how to do those. When I was lashing, that's what I would do at the end of the year, of just what went well, what didn't go well, what can I do better with. And I think the T was for like threats or something like that, like what needs to change and kind of get better going into the new year. So I like to just sit down and do a little recap for that and decide what my goals are for 2026, what needs a refresh, whether you're looking at your pricing for the new year, your policies going into the new year. Maybe you need to switch locations. Maybe you need to drop a difficult client, or whatever that looks like, so that you can protect your time and your energy and your business moving forward. I think this is such a great time of year for that. Just kind of, taking an hour to look things over, look over your numbers. I feel like it's so important to know what your numbers are end of year and just see what worked and what didn't, what needs to change going into the new year. I'm even still doing that with my social media management business now, and speaking gigs and podcasting, and like, okay, what's working well, what's not, what do I need to change, this, that, and the other. December is a great time to just sit down and reflect, feel gratitude for those things. I just wanted to do a little recap too of some different things that we've talked about on the podcast this year, that I feel like are really relevant going into the new year. So with that, obviously, we talk a lot about clientele building and marketing on this show, and content strategy, how to make content easier for yourself, social media, all of those things. So that's one of the things where it's like, okay, you can kind of like maybe not refresh your whole social media strategy, because it's not like you have to change everything and do it completely different or rebrand your whole life or business in January. But you can take a look at what's working for me marketing wise, from a marketing standpoint, what's helping me get clients, what's not. So if you're like, okay, I'm getting a lot of clients from TikTok right now and I'm not really seeing much traction from Facebook, maybe put more of your time and effort into TikTok right now. Or, vice versa. If you're like seeing really good results from like Facebook groups, but Instagram just feels kind of dead to you, then that's okay to put your focus on what's actually working for you. And I think that is something important, especially when you are a solo business owner, because you do have so much on your plate. You do have so much going on, and you need to protect your time and your money and your energy to be able to put those things and all of your efforts in places that are working for you and helping you be successful and helping you feel good in your life and in your business. So take a look at that. What's working, what's not, from a marketing standpoint too, like we were just talking about, because we've talked about marketing so much this year, of just like going into the new year, what's your goal for clients? So if you're like, okay, I want to build my clientele, I want you to actually sit down and set like a specific goal of just like, how many clients do I want to have by December 31st, 2026? Like, how many clients do I want to have served throughout the year? And decide like, okay, how many more clients do I need to book to hit that? And you can kind of, okay, so let's just, for easy math's sake, say you needed 144 new clients for 2026 to hit your goal for the year, okay? So then you could divide that by 12 and say, okay, I need 12 new clients every single month to be able to hit this goal of having 144 new clients, right? So then you say, okay, what is helping me get clients the fastest right now? What's working for me? And then you can kind of double down on those efforts to get those 12 new clients in the door. Or you can make your game plan to get those 12 new clients in the door. And it kind of helps you decide like what needs to happen to make that a reality, right? So I feel like this is really helpful for me to look at it this way, of just like, yes, this is okay, I want to build my clientele, but what does that actually look like? And what's my game plan to help me get there? And how can I break that down by the yearly goal, now monthly goals, weekly, like daily steps, what I need to be doing daily to be able to hit that. That's something that just personally for me just like scratches an itch in my brain of knowing what needs to get done, and then also then being able to like put that on the schedule and make sure I have time for that, and decide what my capacity kind of looks like of, okay, this is going to be too much, like I need to kind of trim the fat, I need to focus on the needle moving things, and just kind of have a good game plan for yourself going into the new year. Because I feel like, at least for me, I go into January and I'm just like, yeah, I feel so good. I feel so inspired. I'm going to hit my goals. I'm doing the work. And then, February, March rolls around and it just kind of like gets into that same, not that I'm like not working hard or I'm not doing things that I need to, but like I'm not, I don't know, I kind of feel like I fall into a routine and figure out what my habits are, and it gets into the day-to-day motions of things, especially with me having kids. Like it's just, I'm not necessarily thinking about like what my goals are every month. So that's something that personally for me, I'm thinking about, of just like, okay, I need to like revisit that at the beginning of every month, because I'm really good at weekly planning. Like I can sit down on Mondays and plan out my week and make sure I have like everything scheduled and what I need to get done. But I'm not necessarily looking at it from like a monthly view of like, what are my goals for the month and what do I need to do this month to hit that? And I just feel like that would be something for me personally that like I'm going to be changing going into 2026, because that hasn't been working for me and I need it to change. I need to do something different if I want to have a different outcome. So think about what's working for you on that. What changes, what adjustments can you make going into the new year? Whether that's adjustments with policies, your schedule, your pricing, looking at those numbers, making sure they're profitable still, all of that stuff. And when you're actually looking at the goals, like we were talking about with like, your marketing goals or like your clientele building goals, I think it's really important to set a numeric number if you can, or something that's like, I think they call them like SMART goals. I don't know. Basically just something that you can break down into smaller pieces and that is like achievable work that you can work towards it. So if you have a certain income goal for 2026, breaking that down, okay, how much do I need to make each month? Okay, how many clients would I need to take to make that? Or how many, online courses do I need to sell? How many products, how much retail do I need to be selling? And kind of like breaking down what those goals look like for you on a more micro level is going to help you be able to hit the big macro goals, right? Another thing that we talked a lot about on the show this year is kind of just like mindset and the role that your thoughts and your habits and your actions that you take play on your success as a business owner, your success in life in general, because your thoughts and your actions and habits and beliefs truly do shape the way that you see the world and that you run your business. And, that if you want something to change, those things have to change too. So we've talked a lot about that on the show this year. And I think going into 2026, most of us are probably doing some level of like reflection on our year previous and, moving forward. And I think that this is a good time to self-reflect in the way of like, what were my triggers with my mindset this year? Because something that I recognized is that my mindset and how I'm feeling for the day very much affects my output and what I'm able to accomplish. And for me, that's not always necessarily been a good thing, because I can always tell when there's dips in income, dips in clients, dips in anything. It typically correlates with when I'm not doing very well mentally. So I think 2026, like I just hope you will take the time to really take care of yourself and make your mental health a priority, and just like your mindset, and really work on those things. A few things that have helped for me: therapy, reading books, like self-help books, that type of genre of bettering yourself and like bettering your mindset. There's also a lot of really great podcasts out there for that. I really love listening to the Ed Milet show. So books, things like that. Even just having like a good support system, good friends, good mentors who you can lean on, talk through things with. Just someone who can hold that space for you, maybe not help you try and fix everything or answer all your problems or, give you answers to everything or fix it for you, but just someone who can like listen and validate. I think that's really important to have. It's just like kind of a sounding board as a business owner, just because you do have so many ups and downs that you go through. And that's something that personally helps me with like my mental headspace and my mindset. But you kind of have to be picky and choosy with who that is for you, because unfortunately not everyone is as supportive as you would want them to be. And it's just important to only be sharing those things with those who you know can hold that space for you, be supportive, and help you kind of work through any of those mindset blocks that you might have. And people who like pour belief into you, like really look at your circle. That, going into the new year, the people who you surround yourself with are so important. You need people who pour belief into you, who, help you believe that you can hit those big dreams and goals that you have for the year, who are supportive, who are kind, who are empathetic, who are cheering you on, who truly want the best for you. I feel like it's a journey with that because you're going to have people who come in and out and people who just play a certain role in your life for a certain period of time. But, just really being cognizant of who you are spending the most time with. And not even just like who you're spending the most time with, but like the content that you're spending the most time consuming. Because I feel like this really can play like a big role on your mindset going into the new year, or even just in general, not even just going into the new year, but it affects the way you think about yourself, you think about your business. It's the narrative that you are allowing into your brain of just how you view the world around you, even, and the beliefs that you have and the thoughts that you have and the habits that you have. So like even just being so picky and choosy with your content, like if you need to set new boundaries around that going into the new year, whether that's a set amount of time for scrolling or you're unfollowing, blocking, muting certain accounts that make you feel some type of way, like whatever you need to do to make social media a better experience for yourself, because you truly can curate the experience you have on social media. Do what you need to do, because content that you consume, I feel like it absolutely does affect you in the same way that who you spend your time around affects you. So be aware of that, be picky and choosy, and have high standards of the content that you consume and the amount of time that you allow yourself to be consuming that. That's one of the things that I'm going to be working on going into 2026. I feel like, especially because my business is online and obviously very much to do with social media, with doing, managing so many pages, I do spend a lot of time online. I do spend a lot of time on my phone, whether it's working or, scrolling or playing games or whatever. And that's just something I know I personally want to work on in the new year. So I'm going to be creating new boundaries around that and really working on my habits around how much time I spend on my phone. Those are the couple things I wanted to touch on for today's episode. Is do a SWOT analysis, decide what your strengths and weaknesses were for the year, what can get better, what changes or adjustments need to be made, just kind of like your year in review. It doesn't mean you're a bad lash artist or a bad esthetician or a bad business owner or a bad person. It just means that, like, hey, you love yourself enough to look at the hard stuff and see what needs to change so that you can improve and become the person that you want to be, the business owner that you want to be. Because if you keep doing things the way that you've been doing them and you haven't hit the goal that you want to achieve yet, you're not going to hit that goal. You have to continually be pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone to do better and to keep moving forward to be able to hit that goal. And that's going to mean making changes and doing things differently than you did in the past. So look at that, and even just taking the time with that to kind of cheer yourself on of like, look how far I came this year. Look at all these great things that I did. Look at everything that I did in 2025, and being grateful for that, feeling gratitude, feeling excitement over that, like being proud of yourself. Like I do feel like you should take time to reflect and be proud of yourself, because for me, that fuels me to want to keep going. Cause like, look how far I came. Like, how much more of a difference can I make in another year? It's exciting. Like, you should cheer yourself on. You should be proud of yourself. So it is fun to like reflect on not just what needs to change or what needs to be different going into the new year, but also just like hyping yourself up, like being proud of yourself, being excited for everything that you've accomplished during the year. And even if it feels like, oh, well, I just didn't accomplish that much, I didn't hit my goals, I didn't do what I wanted to do, it was a hard year for me, I still feel like there's absolutely things that you can pull from the year that you can be proud of yourself for. And I think it's important that you find those things, because I feel like that helps you build your confidence when you're like, okay, maybe I did have a hard year and things didn't go the way that I thought, but I still booked 53 new clients this year. I still passed my income goal for the year, or I still showed up for myself every day. I really learned how to show up on social media better, or I learned how to market myself better, or even just, I survived this year and I have a chance to go into next year and keep rocking it and keep killing it in business and life. So it's just like finding something to feel good about, to have gratitude for, and to feel proud of yourself for. I think you deserve that. Not just thinking about everything that you should change or do differently. So be proud of yourself, decide what can be better for the next year, what changes need to be made, kind of look at your marketing for the year and see, what's my goal for that? Let's set some specific goals, kind of break those down into monthly goals and keep track of those things. And then also like your mindset, because I feel like it's just, you've heard me say this time and time again, but just mindset and strategy seriously go hand in hand in being able to build your business. So it's so important that you have both of those things, because if you're just doing all the woo woo things and like trying to journal yourself into success, it's not going to happen for you if you aren't taking action along with it. And on the flip side, if you're only taking all action and all strategy, I feel like it just kind of leads to burnout and you don't have the mindset. Maybe you're not even going to execute as well because you in your brain are like, I can't do this. I'm not good enough. There's too many other lash artists that, you have all of these thoughts and limiting beliefs. So that's why I feel like it's super important. So when you have the good mindset, you're really working on yourself, you're bettering yourself, and you're taking action along with it. That's like seriously gold right there in being able to build your business. And the crazy part with being a business owner, one of the things that I never realized when I first went out solo and, quit the lash studio I was working at to go out on my own, I just didn't realize what a self-improvement journey that was going to put me on. There was one time I was in therapy where my therapist, and I don't remember exactly the context of the conversation or what we were talking about, but she was just like, how have you gotten yourself to this point where like you realize that you were self-aware enough of realizing the traumas that you had, the things you needed to work on, or wanting to do better with that? And like, how did you even get to that point where like you realized that you needed that? And I was like, oh my gosh, you know what? That's a really good question. And I feel like it's because of being a business owner. I just remember it was like December of one year where it just felt like a flip switched in my brain. And I just remember it so vividly of it setting me on this journey of self-improvement and just realizing all the things that I could do better, and not in a bad way, of just like realizing like, oh my gosh, how did I even live before having this growth mindset now? I just feel like I was just on autopilot before that or something, but it just, being a business owner has been such a blessing for me. It's opened up my world. It's opened up my mind. It's helped me grow so much, and I'm so thankful for that. So, when you're doing your reflection for this time of year, obviously we've been talking about, okay, how can we adjust things or do things better for the next year or things like that. But like I said, like be proud of yourself for how far you've come, like hype yourself up for that, even from like past years of just thinking, man, I started with, no clients and I didn't know anyone. And then I had all these, like, I've grown it to this and this and this. Like be proud of yourself and enjoy the journey along with it. Okay. If you're always looking ahead at the big goals that you have and you're not enjoying the journey and being proud of yourself along the way, I feel like it's not as fulfilling. And also, it's interesting to me. I can't remember where I heard this at, but basically, the most fulfilling part of achieving a goal is actually the journey that it took you to get there. Yes, like actually achieving the goal is great, but then it's kind of like, oh, okay, now what? You get that high and then it's just kind of like, oh, okay, now what? And you look back and realize that the most fulfilling part of that was actually the ups and the downs that you went through getting to your goal and going through it. So I just feel like it's important to enjoy life, enjoy your business, enjoy your clients, enjoy things along the way. You don't want to let that all pass you by because time goes by so fast. We get one chance at this whole life thing. You never know when when that's going to be your last day, or you just never know. So enjoy the journey along the way. Be proud of yourself and how far you've come for the year. Look at things objectively. You've got big goals and dreams for 2026. Okay, let's look at it objectively and see what we need to do to get there and what needs to happen to make it a reality. And this is just a side note, a huge part of what we're going to be doing at the Lash Biz Babes Experience 2026 on May 2nd, 2026. It's an online event and it's going to be this whole guided journey of like, we're going to start you out with a goal And then throughout the day, we're going on this guided journey. Like for some conferences and things, you can pick and choose like which topics you go to, which speakers you go listen to, and you kind of curate your own day, which is great. But this event, we're curating your day for you, and you're going through this whole guided journey of like, you have your goal. It's going to be like a whole goals session, and then we're going to walk you through the strategy, the mindset, all the different pieces that you need to be able to go all in on your business in 2026 to make that a reality. So I'm super excited for that. And pre-sale tickets do end, I think this episode's coming out on the 30th. So pre-sale tickets do end tomorrow on the 31st. $99 pre-sale tickets, and prices do go up in January. So just a little side note, got to throw that in there because it's very much related to what we're talking about on the episode today. But I hope that you had an amazing 2025. I'm seriously cheering you on. Give yourself some grace if this year didn't go the way that you thought it would. And, it's a new year. It's a new chance to try again, and enjoy the journey along the way. It's going to make it feel so much more fulfilling, and make the whole point of this podcast is to help you build a business and a life that you truly love. And I feel like in order to enjoy the life part of that, you have to enjoy the journey along the way and still live your life and still find enjoyment in the ups and the downs of being a business owner and of life. So I love you. Have the best New Year's. If you're listening to this before New Year's Eve, please be safe. I'm going to cry. I'm just like so emotional with being pregnant, but I'm just so thankful for you guys. Thank you for another great year on the show, and I will talk to you in 2026.